Scanning water endorphins. Scanning where was acupuncture first used? How long has it been used here? Canary Islands. Canary Islands spans Isla Canaries Pop 2000 E 1475000 area 7273 square kilometer 2807 SQMI Island archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean 100 kilometers or 60 mi off the NW coast of Africa, W of Morocco and S of Madeira. Comprises Tenerife, Camera, La Palma, Hero, Lanzarote, Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, Gran Canary, several uninhabited islands, chief towns, Las Palmas, volcanic and mountainous, the Pico de data rises to 3718 m 12198 foot in the center of the national park in Tenerife under the control of Spain 15th century fruit and vegetables grown under irrigation. Major tourist area agricultural, fishing, canning, textile, leatherworks, footwear, cork, timber, chemical and metal products. The name is explained by the elder Pliny as referring to the many dogs found in Gran Canaria. That Canis dog has nothing to do with Canaries, which were later named after the islands Gran Canaries, Isles Palmas, Pliny, Spain. Scanning how far are the Canary Islands from the northwest coast of Africa. The Canary Islands takes their name from the large number of birds of that type that are two found on the main island. True or false? Family. Family, an ambiguous term referring to both the group formed by a co-resident husband, wife, and children, which sociologists term the nuclear family, or to a wider category of relatives, including non-residents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, etc. The extended family, the nuclear family, was once regarded as the key domestic institution of modern Western societies, but marriage has become somewhat less common and the divorce rate has greatly increased, so that in societies such as contemporary England and the USA, the majority of the population no longer lives within a nuclear family group. According to some estimates, only 20% of all households are made up of nuclear families, the rest being constituted by single-parent, foster, childless, or extended families, or simply individuals living alone. For different reasons, the same may have been true of many European peasant communities and in the early industries city. Many parts of the world and in Europe in the pre-industrial period, the nuclear family was commonly part of a group, a larger domestic group, including some other relatives and also employees, apprentices, and etc. Anthropologists have been particularly interested in the circle of kin beyond the nuclear family and have demonstrated that kinship groupings, while wider than the nuclear family, may have crucial social functions. Family reconstitution therapy, foster care, marriage. Scanning what is the difference between a nuclear family and an extended family? Searching can you give an example of a country where most people used to live in a nuclear family but this is no longer the case? What proportion of the population live in a nuclear families now? Careful reading and finding the structure using text organizations. Another technique that can help us to understand text is an awareness of text organizations, the way in which the text is organized or structured. It's important to know how a text is organized. For example, in a scientific text, you will often find the type of basic organization shown below. Problem, hypothesis, experiments, results of the experiment, conclusions. Being aware of text organizations should make it easier to identify the main ideas in the text, and this is of course one of the most important tasks when reading academic texts. Problem, hypothesis, experiments, results of experiments, conclusion. Figure 1.2 show the text organized of the passage malaria and new thread. You will see that it is slightly different from the examples we have just given. Check the text organization as it is shown here against the original text if it is possible. You may find it easier if you work in pairs. Problem, how to prevent malaria. Solution, draining of breathing places, biological engineering, wires, crane netting, etc. Queen, modern drugs, DDT. For the problems resistant to new drugs, DDT. And summary. Outline and diagram notes. Sometimes you will want to or be required to write out the main ideas in the kind of formal summary that you did for task 6. More often though, you will want to record the main ideas in the form of outline notes, sometimes called linear notes, which are often more logical, orderly, and easy to follow. For example of typical linear outline layout, diagram notes can sometimes be more memorable and can sometimes make it easier to show how different parts of the passage related to one another. There are many ways of making diagram notes, partly depending on kind of text you are making notes on. One of the simplest type of diagram to use it as a branching diagram. There is an example of typical branching figure layout 1.4.